How's it going, everyone? Be Humbled here, and I wanted to do a little bit of my thoughts on the new and newly announced Scarlet and Violet games that are Generation 9 that are coming into the Switch later this year. I didn't necessarily do a reaction video to the trailer. I had some things to do Sunday morning, so I wasn't able to sit down in front of my computer and really, unfortunately, do a live reaction. But I kind of let everything sit in over the past couple days, been seeing other people's thoughts and opinions on the game, and just kind of like really thinking about like what I want to say about it. Overall, I thought the trailer was amazing. It really kind of did the hook, line, sinker there with the fake out. It almost looked like a Detective Pikachu-esque intro, but they totally faked this out and just gave us Gen 9, which I was not expecting this year. I thought maybe they would do Gen 9 in 2023, just because they already had Legends Arceus. They gave us BDSP in late 2021, even though technically that wasn't developed by Game Freak, it was developed by Ilka. So they probably were using that time to work on these games, finish Legends Arceus, and probably other things that they have going in the back right now. So I love the trailer. There's a lot of things like hidden in the trailers and stuff that people are talking about. I'm not going to go necessarily into that. I really do want to kind of just talk about some other things. Like first and foremost, kind of the screenshots of what we got here. I'm on the Pokemon website. They have a page for Scarlet and Violet up already. And I mean, first impressions, it looks a lot like Legends Arceus. Slightly better graphics. Still not the best quality I think everyone is hoping for, but again, you have to keep in mind that this game is still being developed as we speak, so I wouldn't even necessarily say these screenshots are necessarily even beta. They're pretty alpha, and I'm sure we'll see updated textures and things as we go along. Not having super crazy, but hopefully a lot more polish. Like, some of the sceneries kind of need a little bit of adjusting. I mean, the Stone Journey one looks amazing. Like, he looks great. Like, the house on the trees and the trees actually look good. I will give them that. The trees look good. Like, and even like you can see the screenshot here with the Larvitar and the Pikachu. Like, the trainers, like, clothing, and this trainer just looks so detailed. Like, I love that. Like, I like that direction. Hopefully we'll kind of see some cleanup like that on maybe more overworld scenes. The frame rates were a little iffy in the trailer that we saw. I know that when they were doing like the pans, especially of this Delfino Square-esque area. But yeah, I mean, I got pretty good hopes for this game. The thing I'm gonna go into this game though with is not setting too many high expectations. Like, I mean, I'm just not gonna. It's better to set your expectations low than to have your expectations high and then, you know, everything crumble when none of your expectations are met. So that's just something in life that is always great. And who is buzzing me? I have no idea. But something I do want to call out here is that it says various towns blend seamlessly into the wilderness with no borders. You'll be able to see Pokemon of this region in the skies, in the seas, in the forests, on the streets, all over. You'll be able to experience the true joy of Pokemon series, battling as wild Pokemon in order to catch them, now in an open world game that players of any age can enjoy. So a couple things right off the bat here about this little paragraph. It's only a couple sentences, but it basically states Gen 9 is going to be open world, which is what I think a lot of people had expectations for Arceus to do. But I do enjoy, like, they made it open world seeming enough. I know it's segmented kind of like Monster Hunter Stories in a way, where you have segmented giant open world areas, which didn't really bother me too much. It'll be really interesting to see how they actually kind of get the concept of open world, especially with level scaling and the gyms. I'm assuming there will be gyms, maybe there aren't gyms, maybe it's a slightly different mechanic, but I don't see them going back to another kind of mechanic. Kind of like how they did Totems and Alola. I don't see them doing that. I think they're still going to do gyms. So really interesting to see how that kind of plays out. If you're allowed to just go into any gym in any order, if they'll scale according to your levels, or maybe there's certain flags in the game that you have to reach in order for their Pokemon to scale, so it'll be really interesting. And then of course during the trailer we got our partner Pokemon revealed to us, our starters. So we got Sprigatito, oh my god, that name is going to trip me up for quite some time. We got Fuecoco and Quaxly. So starting Sprigatito, cute Pokemon. It's the grass cat Pokemon. It's apparently a capricious attention-seeking grass cat. So it's a cat. I mean, I like it. I'm not overly impressed by it. Like, it's very cute. I think it's gonna definitely be the route of the cuter starter for this generation. So, we'll see. Secondary typing thoughts on the final evolutions. I think Sprigatito's evolution could either be maybe Grass Psychic or Grass Fairy. It has those pink eyes. Those pink eyes are calling out to me, saying something that's a little bit more like a Psychic or Fairy. I heard some people saying it could be Steel, but I don't know, we'll see. As long as it stays on 4 feet, the final evolution, as long as it's a quadruped, I'll be happy. I kind of hope it doesn't go the route that Ledin and Incineroar did, where it started on all 4s and then just all of a sudden got humanoid at the last evolution. I really hope that they don't do that for this little cat. Fuecoco. Fuecoco is my favorite. He is best boy. Look, I mean, how can you not love him? He is so cute. He looks like a little chili pepper. I even heard some people say he could be a cocoa bean, just because I think the inside of the cocoa beans do have that white fleshy part of them. And then it's like he kind of is shaped like a bean anyway. So we'll see. We'll see where his design direction kind of goes, but I just love him. He is a friend-shaped Pokemon, and I love him. I already know I'm gonna pick him. Hopefully they don't reveal the starters to us before we actually get the game, because I would kind of like to go in without knowing my evolutions. That way, in case he does look atrocious, I'd rather find out in game. I'd rather find out and not have my hopes and dreams crushed before I even get there. But yeah, he's the Firecrack Pokemon that takes things at his own pace. So because of that, I'm thinking he's either going to be Fire Ground or Fire Steel. I would love to see a Fire Dragon type, but I don't think that's ever going to be given to us because Dragon is such a strong typing. To give that to one of the starter Pokemon and then, like, I don't know, you just don't see Dragon typing that early on in games, because I'm assuming they'll evolve around like 32 to 36 range like all the other starters have. So I just don't think they're going to give us a Dragon that easily. And then finally Quaxly, probably my least favorite. I mean, I don't hate him, it's just a duck with a hat. I heard some people say he could maybe be like a Matador or maybe even something of like a fighter pilot thing, because he has like kind of like a marine, like Navy type vibe going on there. Who knows? He's a duck. I just keep thinking of Ducklet when I look at him. So definitely not my favorite, but he's the earnest and tidy duckling Pokemon. So that's interesting. I wonder if he'll, you know, kind of lose that over time as he evolves, or maybe even way more uptight as he evolves. I really hope they don't go water flying with him. I know he's just water right now, so I'm assuming he doesn't have any secondary typings upon just his base form here, like Rowlet did. So I really hope, I really hope he just is not water flying. Like, just stay water, or maybe even water fighting, I can see. That might be interesting if he is more of like a fighter or something. Like, that would be interesting because we haven't had a lot of water fighting types. And I would like to see it. I think the only two that come to mind right now are Keldeo and Urshifu Rapid Strike style. Those are the only two I can think of. I'm pretty sure there probably is like one other water fighting type, but those are the only two I can think of. But yeah, they all have their standard abilities. We'll see what their hidden abilities become, if they have them. I'm assuming they do. They always give the starters hidden abilities. I would love to see Sprigatito, because it seems more like a physical attacker type. Or maybe it could be special attack. It's definitely more attack heavy, whether it's special or physical attack. So something to maybe help with that. It'd be interesting, like I know we had Grassy Surge on Rillaboom. Maybe Grassy Surge would be nice for it, or maybe even Psychic or Misty Surge, depending on what its secondary typing eventually becomes. Fuecoco, I would love to see like Filter or like Dry Skin on him, just because if he is if he is Fire Ground, that's quad weak to water, or even if he's Fire Rock, still quad weak to water, quad weak to ground, so at least you can neutralize one of those weaknesses, which I think would be great for him and make him such a more competitively used mon in that case. And then Quaxley, I don't know, if he's definitely got speedy type vibes to him. So I think he's gonna be maybe more of like a speedy boy. We'll see. I know we got Sniper on Antelion. I'm not really sure what Quaxley would get. We'll have to see. I can't really think of an ability I would want to give Quaxley right now. We'll see. But those are my opinions on the starter Pokemon. Definitely going with Fuecoco, unless, like I said, we get information on the starter final evolutions and they absolutely look, Fuecoco's looks absolutely horrible. But hoping that doesn't happen. And then we scroll down here and we have the main characters. They're kind of eh. I mean, they're just kind of standard characters. There's nothing super crazy about them that looks completely different and stylized. Like they look like a school kid. So hence kind of the standardized uniforms a bit. And plus, I mean, the main character's design doesn't really matter to me at this point because there's gonna be character customization in this game. Like, it's been a staple since Gen 6. They're not gonna just stop it all of a sudden now in their new flagship game. We're gonna have character customization, so we're gonna be able to style our characters how we see fit. So I don't really mind if they look kind of basic right now. They do look like, oddly, it's like they're too realistic. It's like they're edging on like realistic, but they also look still a little cartoony. It's like a little off-putting. They kind of have like the style of like Pokemon Snap, which, I mean, the game Pokemon Snap looked beautiful, but I don't know, I didn't necessarily enjoy how the humans looked in that game. So it's interesting to see. I'm hoping it's just like, you know, how they look, the base characters look, and hopefully other characters like that in the game kind of look a little bit better, but we'll see. So that's everything on this webpage. One other thing I did want to talk about though are the logos for Scarlet and Violet. I think at this point I can't choose a game based off of a logo. Like there's no way I can do that. But it's very interesting how they took two very different font approaches for these logos. Scarlet has more of the flourishy serif font, and Violet is a very like clean, clear-cut sans serif type. And I'm a designer, so I'm sorry if those terms go over your head, but basically serifs are just flourishy little bits on the ends of each of those characters, and then sans serif means there is no flourishes. It's clean cut, is just very geometrical, oh my god. Geometry based. I cannot word that other thing together right now. Oh my god. But yeah, even like the textures and the logos too, like Scarlet has kind of like these like, I would say Scarlet looks more Spanish inspired, because what I didn't even talk about is that this region is inspired by like Spain and Portugal at this point. I don't think it's been necessarily confirmed, but everyone's been kind of looking at the maps and stuff, and the maps kind of do lead towards more a Spanish, maybe Portuguese-ish inspiration here. So Scarlet definitely fits in with that. Violet seems a little different. Like, it's very far from that a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I think the two logos look great on their own, but when you compare them together, it's very weird to see the distinctions there. One thing I was kind of thinking about, because they did have the clock and stuff in the trailer, maybe it is kind of based off of like time and space, because there were also some people, I think maybe Austin John Plays, kind of slowed down the footage and saw like these very like orbital shapes in the logo transitions. So maybe it's based off time and space. Maybe that's part of the whole mechanic of this game. So maybe Scarlet is somehow you can travel to the past just based off of the logo type and how kind of sans serif or serif fonts are more kind of used more in more of a traditional setting. And then Violet, maybe you go to the future because you have more of this very clean cut type, and even like the flourishes and stuff in it, like the textures are very clean cut, like the starry patterns, like it looks very modern compared to Scarlet. So that's two takes I have on that. And something I also wanted to discuss is their Japanese logos, because there's always a hint to the gimmick in each of the generations based on the Japanese logos. I don't know why they don't do it in the English versions, but they always seem to do a little bit of a hint to the gimmick in the Japanese ones. So for example, in Pokemon X and Y, you can see the Japanese logos on the left-hand side here. There are Mega Evolution stones kind of featured in the logos, or like the Mega Evolution kind of flourish there. And then even in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, we have the primal orbs for Kyogre and Groudon. And then in Gen 7, we do have Z crystals, which was the main gimmick there. And then we had Necrozma kind of hinted more towards in the Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon logos. And then even for Gen 8, like it's not as like obvious, but there are little Dynamax symbols in the logos themselves here. So Dynamax was hinted there. So I'm assuming the little logos that we can see here in the Scarlet and Violet Japanese logos, this little star shape is kind of the hint at the next gimmick or kind of gimmick mechanic Pokemon is going to use for these games. So I was kind of thinking, like just thinking off the top of my head, because it seems like maybe time and space is going to be involved in this. Maybe it could be a timing mechanic that they're introducing. I don't know what that would be. It would be interesting though, to kind of tie that to the theme of the game. But the other thing I was thinking of is, what is something they have not done in this series yet? And something they have not done in the series is fusions. And I'm not talking about like Pokemon fusions, because I don't think they're ever going to implement that. That is a lot of work, unless they do a very limited subset of Pokemon that can fuse together. And we have seen fusions in the anime. Like there was a couple episodes where Pokemon fused, like not officially though. I think there was like a Venusaur Blastoise one in like the very, very early anime that I can remember. But I think that potentially this could be maybe more of a move fusion mechanic. And I could see that being very interesting in especially double battles. It'd be really interesting too if they just keep said move fusions just to double battles. So like you select one move from one of your Pokemon, one move from another, and then based on that you get a super move that can maybe be dual typing or whatnot, or have really cool names depending on what types you combine, and that would kind of take up your entire turn there. And you can probably only do that once per battle. That's like my far-fetched idea for what these crystals, star-shaped crystals, can mean. I can't really see it working in singles, and maybe that's a way to kind of really like emphasize double battles. Because the format for official Pokemon competitions is VGC, which is double battles. And it'd be really cool to kind of see them maybe implement double battles as a standard, especially for the gyms in this region. Like that would be really cool, just to kind of get people more on board with double battle styles, because I feel like they should influence that more. They had it a little bit in Raihan's gym in Gen 8, and I thought that was a really nice touch there. But I feel like they could have done so much more and really taught people how do you do move combos and think about typings and think about all the different abilities there are out there. Like Pokemon like kind of does seem like a very RNG based like a very RNG based battle system, and it can be, but it also has its very competitive and very strategic ongoings there. Like, it can be a very much of a mind game, and I would love if they kind of emphasize that more and teach people how to do more competitive battles, because I feel like that would spark the competition or the Pokemon community even more than it already has. But yeah, that's my thoughts on everything. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I would be very interested to see which starter you are leaning towards right now. Now that we probably aren't going to get information on the game for quite some time. I don't predict we're going to get any information probably for the next couple months. They're probably like, here, take this and be satisfied. Because I think traditionally too, they don't really give out more information. They'll do a reveal like February, late February around Pokemon Day, but then they'll kind of go black for a couple months, and then more towards like the summertime, they'll start to kind of amp up the hype for these games release in the winter. But yeah, like I said, I can't say what I'm gonna get yet. I don't know if I'm gonna start with Scarlet or Violet. Too early to tell. We gotta see the box art legendaries first, and that will kind of determine everything. But yeah, those are my thoughts and opinions on the new Generation 9 games. So thank you guys for watching, and remember to stay kind and be humble.